This is not a microphone? No, it's a flashlight. Well, hello and Clover greetings to you. I am so glad that you have decided to assist us with our annual 4-H Tropicana public speaking program by serving as an MC. So this is going to be my pretend mic, okay? If I had a hairbrush with me, I would use that because, of course, a hairbrush was the first ever pretend mic, I'm sure. I want to give you some tips for success as you MC our public speaking program. I want to tell you now, there's a different kind of nerves on the other side of the microphone. So, tip number one, make sure that you are well rested, make sure that you have your energy up, and you are ready to go the day of the program, because I will tell you how your energy is will flow through in terms of how you carry yourself, how you ask questions and engage with the contestants, how you sit and observe the program, all of those. So that energy, that mindset, be ready. And dress cute, of course. Dress cute or handsome, whichever. Let's go over some key things that you will need to know. Make sure that you have reviewed the packet that was sent to you. Mic etiquette. You want to make sure that you remove the mic from the podium and you come to the front of the podium with the contestant. If the contestant in a hurry runs back to their seat, you just tell them, come on back. And you ask them questions. Now, never, ever surrender the mic. Take my word for it. Some folks get the mic and they just blah, 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 blah. So you want to ask a question. Tell me what inspired you to write about your topic today. You might not have the two-hand grip. Okay, all right. I'm over exaggerating. I know. Okay, but don't let it go. Make sure that you hold the mic close enough and you keep it there until they're finished speaking. Because I understand being on the other side of the microphone is different as the MC, and we do get nervous sometimes, and so we want to just go like this, and then if you get a reachy, you just politely pull it away, smile, and then put the mic back there so they can give you the answer. So they get the picture. You don't get to hold the mic. There were a list of questions. You don't have to stick to those questions, but the key thing about asking questions during the program is, first of all, that it's an open-ended question. So you can't answer with a yes or no. The other thing is it allows our judges time to go through the standard score or rubric or score sheet. So I hold my hand up. See, let's pretend. And assign the points that they want to assign for that participant. You may need to ask 2 or 3 questions, especially if they kind of run through their response. You want to be able to ask those questions. To be able to ask questions in relationship to the presentation that they just did or the speech is even better. So you're going to have to be actively listening. Now, of course, in your official MC packet, you will have pencils and you will have paper to be able to write open-ended questions. A couple things I want you to be mindful of so there's no awkwardness. If it's a sensitive topic that they bring up, maybe they talk about being adopted. I remember years ago, there was a couple of youth that talked about adoption and all those kind of things. You want to be mindful of the questions in relationship to that. If you don't have anything specific to ask that would not be tender to them, don't ask. Like, how did it make you feel to be adopted? That could go so many different ways. So you want to make sure if you cannot generate a question that would not lead to bad feelings or put somebody in an awkward position, then you pull one of your questions off of your question sheets that's open-ended and safe. Because it's not our goal to put anybody in an awkward position. And that is including you as the MC. It's okay if you're nervous. because I've been doing public speaking for years, and I still get nervous. Sometimes I want to talk really fast because that's my nerves. And so breathing is important. So you are playing an important part of the team for the program for that day. So again, that energy up, that rested, coming prepared, making sure that you never let go of the mic, that you give them the opportunity to answer your question, and that you may have to ask 2 or 3 questions just for the flow of time, especially if they're talking fast. Because again, they may still just be so full of adrenaline because they just finished their presentation and those kind of things. Once you have your program, this is part of your role as the MC, and that's why you have to be there no later than 8:30. So as the youth are checking in, you're going down the list to make sure that you can say their names correctly. And you want to introduce yourself. This is a great opportunity. You've demonstrated your skills, and you may have done 4-H Tropicana public speaking 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. So at this level of doing an MC, you're on this other side of communication, and so being able to pronounce the person's name correctly is important, especially if that's like a pet peeve of theirs, and we don't know because we're not going to ask them, but going down and making sure that you write out how to say the name, that you can read that name. If you are in a team, then you'll be alternating. If it's just you, then it is you. And so you just want to make sure that you be able to go through and say the names properly. The other thing that you will need to help Miss Yolanda with, unless she finds another volunteer, is determining whether we need to bring up a step or two, depending on the height of our participants, and getting the microphone situated for them. So you say, well, Miss Yolanda, what happens if I fumble my words? Well, Miss Yolanda fumbles her words. We just keep it moving. We just keep it moving. Key thing is that you make sure that you're paying attention to me. I always sit in the front. And so if I keep an eye on the judge, especially doing that questioning part, and to see where they are in their pacing so that we know if we're on task. And then when you go back to the podium to introduce the next presenter, you wait for me to give you the nod. Because again, I will know if the judges have passed on their score sheets and we can move to the next person. So it's an ebb and a flow. In between on the breaks, I might come up and have different organizations or my different colleagues come and talk about programs that they're doing. And so it won't show up in the script, but there may be sticky notes in the notebook. And so you'll know that Miss Yolanda's going to come up and do something here. And so it won't be in the script part, but there will be sticky notes there as a reminder for myself. And if I don't move, you can remind me, Miss Yolanda, this is your time. You have a little note here. That's a little humor, and I will come up and do what I need to do. So as we are navigating through, you are not allowed to share any information as you sit in the judges' room during breaks and those kind of things in between the two divisions. You cannot divulge any information, any results, nothing. We don't sit on a stage, but you'll be sitting that you're still in eye view. So you want to make sure that you're sitting properly and that you know that people are looking at you, maybe looking at you, and even the other contestants may be looking at you. Say, oh, I hope next year I get to be in that spot if they're in the 6th grade, or we're making faces. So we can't make faces. That's one of the things. Body language is so important. So if it's like something in a presentation and you're like not in it, honey, it's like, I can just bring tears to my eyes. I'm a lot side. You have to look like it's the best speech ever given. Or if someone freezes and those kind of things, don't give the OMG face. Okay, no OMG faces or anything like that. It's like cool as a cucumber. They may be looking at me and I'll be breathing. So yeah, so I've had presentations that interesting, and I didn't give the interesting face like they let them out of school with that. None of those kind of things. And I've listened to presentations that about brought me to tears. And yeah, it just was so emotionally moving. But I had to keep on, keep it cool, because we don't want any other participants to think that their presentation, because they moved anybody in a certain way, it will win. Because we have a rubrics and it's scored by that rubrics. So that's something that's very important. When you go up to read the script, you want to make sure that it's not noisy, especially when we're resuming. And so when you were resuming something, people still maybe a little bit chattering, and you might say, okay, we're about to begin part two. So maybe they're still making a little bit of noise. And you'd be like, all right then, something must be good going on over there. But we're about to begin part two. May I have your attention, please? At the end of the program, I always like to interview my MCs. I got to get that perspective, from being on the contestant side to the MC side. So don't be surprised when I ask you a question related to that. I've already gave you the heads up. It's coming. Be ready. I look so forward to working with you. I know we're going to have a great day. Again, thank you for volunteering and being available to be our MC for the program. And I know, seventh grade is a whole nother game and all those kind of things, but that you still found that having earned the privilege of being the MC for our program was something to still take advantage of. Have a great one, and I look forward to working with you.